Good afternoon. Welcome out to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank. I'll be taking you through the tackle trading website here today, kind of showing you around a little bit, letting you know what we're doing, when we're doing it, where you can find it, all of that fun stuff. So if you're getting to know us as a pro member, you can better utilize the tackle website. So we'll go ahead and dive right on into it here today. Really, in a nutshell, tackle trading is really just a group of traders that have come together, share ideas, ask questions, bounce things off of one another, right? Trading is it doesn't have to be so lonely. For most of us as traders, we're kind of trading on our own and all of that stuff. And maybe your neighbor doesn't want to talk trading with you. Well, hey, I can never make your trading for you, but I'm certainly happy to talk trading with you till I'm blue in the face. I never get tired of talking about this stuff. And I think that goes for the community as a whole here at Tackle Trading. Just a bunch of traders that have really come together to kind of work these markets together. When I'm kind of explaining tackle trading, I like to break it into three areas. I break it down into the things that you can do on your own. That would be some courses, some blogs, some of the tools that we have available in our trade center, then things that you can do with others, basically our schedule. We're meeting with our team in a variety of ways throughout each and every week. And lastly, our weekend report where we can share some ideas going into the upcoming week from a trading point of view. So that'll kind of be the angle that we come at it here today as well, starting with that first basket there, the things that you can do on your own. We do offer a variety of courses to all of our pro members, including the 7-step guide to trading. This is a relatively short course. If you're newer to trading in particular, I think you'll find it really, really helpful. But even if you're a vet, I bet you'll find a couple things that can make your routine a little smoother. It'll kind of introduce you to the tackle trading approach to the markets. Now, of course, no two traders are exactly the same, but we do kind of share core philosophies here at tackle trading for sure, from taking that top-down approach, starting at the top of the market, how we're choosing our strategies and finding, prepping, placing, managing, journaling our trades. So it really will give you kind of a good idea of kind of what the overall philosophy at tackle trading is. If you're a newer trader, it will also help give you some structure, help you out on your daily routine. Definitely be really, really helpful if you are newer to the markets. But like I said, even if you're a vet, probably a couple things in there that can make your routine a little bit better. Beyond the 7-step guide to trading, a technical analysis course. I mean, as traders, we're going to do a heck of a lot of charting, right? And that's true regardless of, whether we're trading stock, options, futures, crypto, Forex, whatever. That's true for day traders, swing traders, position traders, whatever time frame. So the better we are at charting, of course, the better we're going to be all around, right? And so that's exactly what we're going to focus on there in that technical analysis 101 course. Charts, and more charts, right? Support, resistance, trend, momentum, patterns, candlesticks, all of that good stuff, which we can all get better at, right? I've never met the trader that was 100%. We can always get better. We are certainly a big fan of options here at Tackle Trading. The Options 101 course will kind of take you through, what's going on when you buy or sell that call or that put option, right? What are the factors that are influencing the price, what Greeks, implied volatility, things that we really need to understand if we're buying or selling options, regardless of what strategies that we're going with. I'm of the belief that the firmer you understand why the contract does what it does, why it moves and behaves the way it behaves, the easier any of the strategies are going to be for you. So we're really going to focus on that side of options over in that Options 101 course. Not going to talk a ton about strategies. I'll show you where you can find them here in a bit. If you've ever been interested in either the futures or the Forex market, we have introductory courses into those markets as well. I know not everybody wants to trade in those markets, and that's fine if you don't. But there are also markets that we can trade if we want to. I can, you can, anybody can. We just need to kind of understand what's going on over there. We need to understand that leverage. Certainly some things that we do need to make sure we're aware of if we are trading futures or Forex can be a great place to start if you've ever had any interest in one or both of those markets. You'll also find a system development course. I think we all agree that you need to have trading rules, you need to have systems and things like that. I think everyone agrees with that, but it's very easy to say it, another thing altogether to do it. The system development course is really designed to help our team put together trading plans from a systematic perspective. It's a fantastic course. I can't recommend it enough. whether you like to trade options, futures, forex, stock, whatever. I think there's a lot to gain out of that System Development 101 course. You'll also notice we have a handful of premium products here at Tackle Trading. What these are is they're one-time purchases. It's a completely fleshed out system. The system is yours for life. We get together each month with members of these teams in a mastermind group. Step system, kind of our approach to swing trading, Tackle 25, a covered call based system, cash flow condors, credit spread system on the Russell 2000, bear market survival guide, dealing with bearish turns and then bearish market conditions. If you are interested in any of these, you can easily find more information over in the store tab. We'd happy to give that. You're happy to find some over there, or feel free to send us an email, team@tackletrading.com. We can give you some intel over there. We meet up with each members of these team once a month, and we do invite, and I'll kind of bring this up again here in a couple when we're talking about the schedule, but we do invite all of our pro members to join in on those mastermind groups. So you can always come in and see what they're all about. Not everything has to be a course, right? We're going to do regular blog content, sometimes in written, sometimes in video format, whether it's hearing from our awesome female trading community in the Women in Trading blog, more charting and over in the Tales of a Technician blog, of course, options in the Option Theory blog. These will be relatively short reads / videos, but just another way that we can answer our team members' questions, share ideas throughout the course of the week. Certainly worth incorporating into that weekly routine. If you go over into the Trade Center, you will find a link to our clubhouse, our glossary, link to our trade journals. We'll talk a little bit more about journals here shortly, as well as a link to the Tackle Trading Playbook. Now, this is where you're going to find all of our strategies and the rules for those strategies. We break our strategy selection into 3 core areas based off of the option Greeks Delta, Theta, and Vega. Our Delta is our directional playbook. That would be buying stock, that'd be buying calls or puts. That would be debit spreads, basically movement-based strategies, right? I think this is going from point A to point B, from 70 to 75, from 100 to 90. I want to take advantage of this from a directional perspective. And of course, going to have the theta or the cash flow side of things. Awesome thing about options is we can sell them and bring in that premium. That would be, our covered calls, our naked puts, our credit spreads, our iron condors, etc. And lastly, the Vega or the volatility playbook. These will be bi-directional strategies playing into our expectations on volatility. As we're getting into this earnings season, we're going to see some things, make some pretty sizable moves, right? Yeah, most likely some up, some down. And maybe we want to play into that volatility. So it'd be like straddles and strangles and things of that nature. In all of these, there will be a detailed video kind of walking you through what the strategy is, why we choose a strategy, how we would do the strategy, risk reward, all of that good stuff, as well as our rules for exactly how much time and delta and all of that good stuff we're going to be buying or selling. There's little downloadable PDFs, so you have easy access to those rules, so you can easily reference them if you need to. You will also notice that on all of these, there's something from a 0 to a plus or a -3, and this is just kind of the bias, right? So if you kind of think about 0 as flat neutral, right? Plus or -1 would be slightly bullish or slightly bearish. 2 or -2 would be bullish or bearish, and 3 or -3 would be very bullish or very bearish. We always kind of want to match the strategy to our view of the situation, right? And so this is just kind of where we see these strategies fitting along those lines. So that is the Tackle Trading Playbook. If you go directly into the Trade Center here, it will bring you to kind of a what's up at Tackle Trading page. What's our next show, our most recent posts, our most recent tweet, a little watch list if you'd like to build out for yourself. Very easy to do. So you don't have to log into your broker, I'm assuming if that's where you're doing your charting. If we wanted to, add Google to our watch list, I'll just throw that in there. I'm just gonna I'm gonna close that. I'm just gonna hit this little plus button. That's gonna add Google to my watch list. Now, anytime I come back into my Trade Center, I'll have them. If I don't need them anymore, if I say, I'm just tired of having ConocoPhillips in my watch list, just going to select it, hit that minus button. That'll get rid of it for me. Kind of a handy thing to have, so you don't always have to log into your secure broker if you want to just do a quick walk through your watch list. There will be a replay or a showing of one of our YouTube shows, typically the halftime report, where you are in any of the courses that you're taking, so you can pick right back up where you left off. Little mini calendar for the foreseeable future. So just really kind of a what's up page. Beyond that, you'll find the market skyline in here. You're just going to find all of the big stuff on one page, like that top down daily routine stuff, all of our index charts, the S&P, the Dow, NASDAQ, the Russell, of course, futures contracts here, Bitcoin, the VIX, the emerging market ETF, the all world ETF, the major commodities like gold and silver and crude, et cetera, the sector spider ETFs. Really, all of these things are a big part of that daily routine for what we're doing here at Tackle Trading. Of course, you don't have to do it on this page, but definitely something that can make you better as a trader if you're not already doing, kind of working the market from that top-down perspective. Talk a lot about that in the first step in the 7-step guide to trading. That's the first step there. There's also a little link to FinViz heat maps if you wanted to take a look kind of at the day that was in the S&P 500, kind of get a visual for what it looked like. Kind of just a different approach, but you can kind of see what areas stood out to you potentially. It is defaulted to 1 day, but there is some customization that you can do in there. So that'll just bring you over to finviz.com. There's going to be a news aggregator. This is going to go through some of the bigger financial websites like the Wall Street Journal, the Times, CNBC, Market Watch, and just kind of grab the headlines and kind of get them placed in I guess, an easy to process manner, at least in my opinion, where I can just easily kind of scroll through. Oh, this is interesting. I want to read it. This one isn't. I don't want to read it. Right. I mean, I could read these, directly over at the website. That's fine. But it's kind of nice to kind of get them all in one place, easy to work through, really just tries to be a time saver. You'll find a link to the economic calendar. So, it's on the, economic docket for today or for this week that could impact your trading. Link to our market reports, which are also going to be here on this drop down we'll talk about shortly. Compounded gains calculator, a chart if you ever need one, the glossary again, the search bar, which is also this little magnifying glass, and it is pretty smart. So if you're ever looking for more information, really easy to typically to find information on things that you're looking for. You will also find another link to our trade journals here, and I'm going to smack this button. Again, you can access this on the drop down of the Trade Center as well. But if you come into it through the Trade Center, like we just did, it'll take you directly to the tutorial page. If you need a little bit of help getting used to doing that, there's no shame in that. Definitely can be helpful. We have 3 different trade journals. We have the trade journal, which is probably kind of what you're thinking about. I tell it what I did, how much of it I did, what my price was, right? And it's going to kind of track the rest. How long was I in the trade? Obviously, my profit loss, how much my average winning trade makes me, how much my average losing trade costs me, right? All of that good information. Journaling is so important because every trade we make is data if we allow it to be, right? Then we can make targeted adjustments based off of what we specifically, individually are seeing. It's a fantastic tool. Also going to have this data research tool where we can build and compare cash flow strategies against one another. Say you've got, 4 credit spreads you're looking at going into tomorrow morning, but you only want to put 2 on. Well, how do we decide which 2? Right. Well, we want to compare apples to apples, right? The data research tool will really help you do that. And then the portfolio journal, just to make sure we know exactly where we are on things. For some people, that's pretty easy because they only have a handful of trades going on at any time. For other people, they might have dozens and dozens of positions going on at any given time. Regardless of where we, fall in that range, we do need to be organized, right? If you come into it through the Trade Center like we are here, just select the journal that you want to download and just hit the download button. Very easy to do. So that is the trade journals. And that'll kind of wrap up that first area, kind of the things that you can do on your own. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of the courses, the blog, some of these different tools in the Trade Center. Let's talk a little bit about the things that you do with others, aka the schedule, right? So that's what's such an awesome part about being part of Tackle Trading is being around like-minded individuals, being around other traders, right? We start every market morning over in our Traders Lounge at 11 a.m. Eastern. If the market's open, so is the lounge. We're going to get together for an hour. We're going to talk markets. We're going to answer our team's questions. If you need us to walk through something, we're happy to do that. If you got a trade setup you want to kind of share with the team, we're happy to look at it, right? Really, whatever our team needs is what we're going to talk about in that Traders Lounge every market morning. That's 11 a.m. Eastern. That'll go for an hour. We are not going to record every lounge that we do because, quite bluntly, no one's going to go watch one from 6 months ago, right? However, we can and will kind of hit little snippets and get them posted in here as well, so you can always revisit them if you need to do so. So that's going to kick off our average market day here at Tackle Trading, 11 a.m. Eastern in the Traders Lounge. And shortly after that, at 12:30, we're heading over to our YouTube channel to do the Tackle Trading halftime report, live looking on the market, going through that daily routine. Hey, what's going on in the news today? How's it impacting our charts, right? Talking commodities, talking sectors, stocks in the news, all of that good stuff, following the story that is the market. That's 12:30 p.m. Eastern right here on this YouTube channel every single market day for the halftime report. So every day, whether it's in the lounge here at Tackle Trading or the halftime report over on YouTube, we will be working the markets during market hours with members of our team. Then we're going to have our evening slate as well, starting with what I would probably consider the flagship show here at Tackle Trading, the Coaches Show on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The Coaches Show is really fun way to be able to take a deeper dive on these subjects in the market with our community. Sometimes we'll, just, hey, let's talk about building earnings trades. Recently, Coach Tyler did an awesome series on the step system. As you can kind of see here, I've been going through it for the last, 6 weeks, kind of getting everybody up to speed with that, whether it's, trading, whether it's particular strategies, whether it's particular patterns, whether it's particular indicators, routine, portfolio design. I mean, there's so many things that we can talk about as traders, and we need to talk about as traders. The Coaches Show allows us to really zero in on a topic and have an in-depth discussion for that evening, for the next couple of Coaches Shows, for the next 6 weeks, like we recently did on the step system. All of these will be recorded and archived, so if you can't make it live, or if you need to rewatch it, or if you want to watch an episode on a subject you find interesting from 6 months ago, very easy to do. That is the Coaches Show, Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. On Thursday nights, also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do our Cash Flow Club, going to be a little more narrowly focused than the Coaches Show, right? The name probably gives away what we're going to be focused on in there, and that's those cash flow strategies, right? All about that theta in there. We are certainly big fans of cash flow and theta-based strategies here at Tackle Trading. So we're going to be talking a lot about building and managing these covered calls and these naked puts and these credit spreads and these iron condors, right? Every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern in that Cash Flow Club. Much like the Coaches Show, it is recorded and archived, very easy to revisit it or catch something on an old subject that we did, in days gone by. Always a fun time. If you are incorporating any cash flow trading into your overall trading routine, and I imagine there's a good chance that you probably are, definitely worth catching that Cash Flow Club. I'm going to hop over to the event calendar for a second here. On Mondays, everything we've talked about so far is pretty set in stone. I mean, barring some weird things like Thanksgiving, on Thursday, once a year, we really are pretty regimented on that schedule. You're not going to see a lot of things deviate from that. Our Mondays are a little bit different. Mondays, we typically meet up with one of the members of these premium systems, the step system, Tackle 25, Condors, Bear Market Survival Guide, in that mastermind group. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, all of our pro members are welcome to join in on those discussions, whether you've picked up the system or not. It does not matter. You're welcome to go in there and learn about it, record it, archive, revisit some old, some previous episodes. Of course, you're invited to join in on those conversations. Those do tend to be on Monday evenings. I would say the heavy majority of the time, but they are not quite as set in stone. Sometimes they might be on a Wednesday, or they might be on a Thursday. Of course, you can always find that information here in the events calendar. They do tend to be on Mondays. On Mondays, we do occasionally also do YouTube webinars here. We will do some special webinars. They tend to fall on Mondays as well. On Wednesdays, we do at 7 p.m. Eastern here on the YouTube channel. We do our Trade Masters webinar, where a couple coaches will come together with some trade ideas, a delta trade idea, a theta trade idea, and a wild card idea. Bounce them off one another and members of our community in the chat. Our chat will vote on it, and whoever ideas they like the best is declared the winner that week. It's a lot of fun. It's really just to kind of share ideas and help beef up that watch list as we get into the middle of the week, right? That is on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the YouTube channel. Kind of an overly simplified way to kind of view it is the lounge is kind of the Q&A, right? What do you need to talk about? What do you need? We can talk about it. The halftime report is really about that daily routine. And then the evening shows are really kind of about taking that deeper dive, kind of putting that teacher's hat on a little bit on these different subjects. And while I would definitely say that's a little overly simplified way to explain it, hopefully it can keep you a little more organized as you're getting to know us. Again, the events calendar can help if you're what's that show? Where's the link for it? Very easy to find here in that events calendar. So that's kind of what the schedule looks like. We do a lot of live content every single week. And while, of course, we invite you to join us in all of the things that we're doing, we don't expect you to be in everything that we're doing. Don't be afraid to, I always tell people, build your own tackle trading. It's okay. Most of these things are recorded and archived. You can come back and revisit them at a more convenient time or when you're ready. Don't let it overwhelm you, but do know you're invited to join us in all of our conversations that we're having. As we kind of move into that third basket, let's talk a little bit about Fridays. On Fridays, what we as a team of coaches here at Tackle Trading are doing is getting together in what we call our scouting report meeting. In that meeting, we're talking markets, we're talking sectors, we're talking commodities, we're talking trade setups. And out of that scouting report meeting comes our weekend report, our tackle newsletter, our stock option and commodity reports that we get delivered to the team by Saturday afternoon. So they have some actionable ideas going into the upcoming trading week. Starting with the tackle newsletter, again, first step in that 7-step guide to trading is starting at the top of the market. And that's exactly what we're doing here in that tackle newsletter. We want to talk a little bit about the week that was, right? What happened this past week? How did it impact things? Talk a little bit about sectors, talk a little bit about volatility, take a look at the upcoming economic calendar during earnings season like we're in right now, talk a little bit about earnings. Of course, we'll have a video going through this stuff, where we are technically in the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, and the Russell. ETFs if you ever need them, DIA for the Dow, that's the diamonds, QQQ for the NASDAQ, IWM for the RUT, and SPY for the S&P 500. Take a look at the internals, looking at over 8,000 stocks to kind of see what the market's kind of looking like under the hood, if you will, right? Get a better idea of what it looks like, as kind of go through it entirely. We're going to be ranking the sectors each week. As you can kind of see, we're going to put it on a football field. We break our sectors into 3 core areas based off of their personalities. We're going to have the growth sectors. That's going to be technology, discretionary, and communications, represented here in blue. We're going to have the cyclical, financials, industrial, basic materials, and energy, represented here in gold. And defensive, healthcare, staples, real estate, and utilities, represented here in this purpley plummish color. Our rankings aren't specifically based off of the sector spiders. Well, let's talk a little bit about the sector spiders. As you can kind of see, if you're unfamiliar with the sector spiders, what they are is they're ETFs. They'll go into the S&P 500, for example. XLE is the energy sector spider ETF. We'll go into the S&P 500, pull out just the energy stocks, weight it accordingly, and put it into its own portfolio. So we can get kind of an isolated look at the energy sector versus, say, the technology sector versus, say, the basic materials sector, right? The ETF provider's website, if you want more information on these, I always say go straight to the source. It's just the word sectorspdr.com. It's the ETF provider's webpage. There you can kind of see who's in them, how it's weighted, all of that fun stuff. If you want to take a closer look, we're going to use those symbols to represent our sectors. We're not specifically ranking XLY or XLE. It is a very small part of the overall decision process there, but the stocks that make up those is how we're coming up with our rankings each week in these different sectors. Sometimes we'll be moving them up. Sometimes we'll maybe moving them down. Sometimes we won't be moving them much at all, as was the case this week. Kind of coming into that 1-2-3 or -1-2-3 philosophy, right? Zero is going to be, in that neutral between the 40s category. Might have a slight bear bull lean, but overall, a neutral look on it. Slightly bearish or slightly bullish between the 40 and 20. Now, if you're a football fan, that once you get into the red zone, that's the 20 in, it gets pretty difficult. It's a little more aggressive than we are. Probably unlikely you're ever going to see us put, an entire sector into ±3 territory. That's really just more aggressive than we are. But I guess you never know the future, so I just wouldn't expect it. I would expect it to be extremely rare if it ever does happen. So we'll be adjusting these rankings each week, again, kind of talk you through the thought process in the video portion of the newsletter. To wrap up our scouting report meeting, we all share our favorite trade setups from our upcoming reports, kind of rapid fire style, kind of talk about our favorite bullish and bearish setup, what we kind of like about them. It's a fun way to end the meeting. Of course, we've got our tackle trading Discord up and running. Awesome place to be. Great traders and great people over there. Come on over and join us. You can easily find the link to the Discord channel in the newsletter each and every week. Hope to see you over there. Friendly little reminder to match the strategy to the situation, right? Pre-built scanners. So if a particular sector has caught your attention, you wanted to find, some stocks and kind of do a quick evaluation of that space, say maybe, the financials as they're working through earnings have caught your eye for whatever reason. This will just bring you back to our friends at FinViz. Hit this charts button right here, get rid of that ad right there because I don't pay for their service. I just use the free. And this will kind of let us do a quick bird's eye view of the sector, right? Whether we're looking for bulls or bears, it doesn't really matter, right? We can easily kind of work through. I wouldn't try to build a trade off these charts by any means, but I can get an idea of, what I'd like to take a closer look at this guy. This weekly chart looks kind of interesting on UNM, for example, to me, right? At least. So a very easy way to quickly look at a lot of stocks in a particular sector, do a kind of a bird's eye view. Hey, this one's interesting. I want to take a closer look at this on my actual charting platform. Really handy little tool. Again, we'll have that for all of the different sectors here. Wrap it up with a quick world watch and a final note going into the upcoming week. So that is the Tackle newsletter. A big part of what we're doing every single week is going to be, based off of the newsletter and based off those rankings. So always a good place to start. Coach Mark does our commodity report for us, where he's going to kind of go through, talk about the technicals, the fundamentals, as well as the themes going on in the world of commodities, gold, copper, oil, all of that good stuff, right? Does a great job keeping our team up to date with that. And always presenting ideas. Not everybody wants to trade commodities over in the futures market, and that's perfectly fine. There's a lot of things that we can do through the securities, through ETFs, through options. A lot of things that we can do to take advantage of movement or lack thereof in certain cases in the world of commodities. Coach Mark always does a great job highlighting those to the community as well. The stock and the options report are going to be somewhat similar to one another in the sense that we want to have some good quality technical candidates going into each and every week, right? From a swing trading perspective, whether we're option traders or stock traders or both, right? And so patterns and technicals are important no matter what, product you're using to trade them, right? And so going to be very similar from that perspective. Some bullish trade setups, some bearish trade setups. Where they're going to differ is number one, things in the option report. Every coach at Tackle Trading at least feels comfortable trading the options. The liquidity's there, the spreads are tight. We can easily work with these from an option perspective. In the stock report, maybe that's why it's there. Maybe it just doesn't have very good option liquidity, for whatever reason, but the liquidity on the stock is perfectly fine, or maybe it's just a low price and makes sense to play it from a stock perspective. But certainly everything in the option report, at least all of the coaches at Tackle Trading are comfortable playing options on that. That is not necessarily the case in the stock report. Of course, you can always go check the liquidity. If you like something in the stock report, see if there's something you want to take a closer look at. If it's there, great. You can build an option trade. If it's not, oh, well, right. You can play the equity or you can find something else, right? If you've ever been stuck in an illiquid option, you're not going to just say, oh, well, I'll try anyway, because that's no fun to get stuck in those things, right? So then if you're not sure how to do that, you'll learn about that over in that Options 101 course for sure. The discussion is going to be a little bit different as well, right? In the options report, we're going to talk a little bit more about strategy selection. Hey, this might make sense, for a a naked put or a bull put because of the price of the implied volatility. Options are given as good premium. Oh, this is really, these options are really cheap. Might make sense to go long call here or whatever. So can kind of talk a little bit about the decision making process as far as what strategy. Of course, we're not going to have that conversation in the stock report because, well, we're kind of coming at it from a stock point of view, right? So the discussion will be a little more tailored towards processes and routines and technicals and things like that. But whether you're trading stock or options, we always want to make sure we have a good quality watch list to work out of every week, right? And these are some of the swing trading setups that we found in our scanning and going through our watch list for some potential ideas in the upcoming week, both from bullish and a bearish perspective. If you are not familiar with these embedded trading view charts, there's a couple of cool things I always like to show people really quick when I'm in here. Number one, you can hide the widget just by smacking this button right here, so you have a little more chart to work with, right? You can zoom up and down and back and forth to kind of get it sized the way you like it, so it's visually appealing, right? That's important to us as traders. The default, because these are swing trades, are on the daily chart, but there is, the drop down here. We can take a closer look at it from an intraday point of view, a longer term point of view, little customization there. If for whatever reason you prefer bar charts, very easy to switch it over there. If you want to add an indicator or two, smack the indicator button, add whatever you want, and then just close that out. If you don't need the indicator to be as big as this is, I can just hover my mouse over on the kind of between the volume and that newly added indicator, hold the left mouse button down and scrunch it up or down. Your trend line tool, just be aware that these indicators don't save. So if you add a few indicators, great, no problem. But if you leave the page and come back, the indicators will not come back with you. Just be aware of that. You're gonna have your trend line tool up here. So if I'm looking at this, I've got a little resistance level, looking for this to break above that. We can easily get that there. If we want to actually draw a trend line, we can do that as well. If I don't want them, I can just left click it and hit the trash button, and that'll get rid of it for me. Very easy to do on that trend line tool. You're also going to have in here where you can build a longer or short trade out. So since this is a potential bull breakout here, let's just say I'm not going to be too specific, but I want to get in here, right here. I want to get through all this resistance. That's my potential entry point. I like a target price up here at $300. Let's just say that that's my target zone. And I don't know that this is how I feel today, but we'll just go with it. Let's just say I want my stop loss at, 278.52. That'll just let me know what my trade looks like, right? Where I'm getting in, my window of profitability, what my stop loss. It'll also do me the math, right? This is where it really comes in handy. For every dollar I'm risking here, I have $3.12 in potential profits if it were to hit that target price. Maybe you feel your stop loss needs to be below today's low. That kind of lets you know that, well, you're risking $1 to get $1.85. Maybe you've got a target in mind of 310. Maybe you feel better using this pivot for your support, right? And so depends on how we're building our trades individually, right? But really handy little tool to kind of help you visualize the trade as well as quickly do the risk to reward, make sure it's there. Most of us traders, stick with the 2-to-1 rule, right? If I'm risking $1, I need to have $2 in potential profits expectation to make it a good quality trade. So that'll be in here. That'll, if you want to go short, very easy to do the same thing. Really handy little tool. So just a couple of things that you can use there on those trading view charts. Again, we just kind of want to make sure our team has some ideas, right? Going into each week. You'll probably, like some of the setups and add them to your watch list, probably not like others and not, right? Maybe you just don't like that stock. Maybe you don't like that area of the market. Maybe you've already got plenty of exposure in that area of the market. Maybe you just don't like that pattern, right? There's no, you never have to explain to me why you don't want to add a stock to your watch list. That's, of course, your business. But we want to make sure our team has some quality trade setups each and every week that they can work off of, right? Whether you're trading stock, options, commodities, all of the above, always want to make sure our team has some good actionable ideas going in each and every trading week. Again, we'll get all of these delivered to you by Saturday afternoon so you can go through them before the market gets back up and running. Hopefully that gave you an idea of those scouting reports. As we get wrapping up here, a couple of other things. Tackle Today is our daily email. If you'd like to get signed up, very easy to do. Just smack Tackle Today, hit this button. Very easy to do. Every morning, gonna have some quick thoughts as well as the lineup, what's going on today, all the links for all the stuff. Very helpful and easy to do. If for whatever reason you prefer to do it on this page here at Tackle Trading instead of get it delivered to your inbox, you can do that, no problem. Do be aware it'll probably get delivered to your inbox a little faster than to this page, but we will get it posted in here as well. Definitely a good way to start the trading day. We are active on all the different social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, of course, here on YouTube. So if you're using any of these platforms, I certainly invite you to come on over and join us. If you are just finding us on YouTube for the first time, welcome, of course. Welcome to Team Tackle. Great to have you with us. It is always helpful if you do subscribe and hit that notification. That certainly helps us in that algorithm on the YouTube side of things. Hopefully it helps our team be alerted to any time we're going live or have added anything new. So certainly always helpful for us. We're probably best known, for the live stuff because we're doing so much of that on our YouTube every day or every week. But we've got a lot of other stuff over on our channel as well. A lot of walkthroughs, rundowns, how-tos, thinkorswim playlist, tutorial playlist. So lots of good stuff over on the YouTube channel. I would personally say at least. The Huddle is our end of week podcast. This will just bring you over to the Huddle podcast. Now you can catch the Huddle on any of your favorite podcast providers, or you can catch it right here on this page. Just going to be a quick look at the top 10 stories of the trading week, just to make sure didn't miss anything, right? Unbiased, quick, to the point. What happened? We'll leave it up to you how I'm going to interpret it, right? We just want to make sure that we're up to date. That's the end of the week podcast. Speaking of podcasts, each week our friends over at tradingjustice.com put out the Trading Justice podcast. In my opinion, at least, the best financial podcast out in the market today. A lot of fun, a lot of good informative stuff in there. You can find that over at tradingjustice.com or on any of your favorite podcast providers. That's the Trading Justice podcast. Definitely worth adding that to your weekly routine. I think you'll learn a lot in there, have a lot of fun along the way. Definitely a great addition to a routine, in my opinion, at least. As we kind of wrap up here, as I mentioned a little earlier, we're going to keep our community as busy as they want to be, right? Some people are going to be in virtually every show that we're doing, and that's awesome. Love to see it. But some people just can't make that happen, right? And that's okay too. Don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading. You're always welcome. You always can catch the recordings or the archives. You can always join in when you're ready. Build your own tackle trading. Your priorities are your own, right? And that's, that's the reality of the market. And that's a great thing about life, right? Is I can make this fit into my life in my way, right? You can do the same. And I hope that you do so. Don't let it overwhelm you. If you're ever feeling overwhelmed, reach out, send us an email, hit me up over in Discord, ask in the chat. Everybody's here got your back. So don't ever hesitate to reach out for help if you need it. That's what we're here for. All right. So never hesitate to reach out. We're always got your back here at Tackle Trading. We will have a standing offer if you're not a pro member yet and are interested in kind of taking a look at what kind of it looks like underneath the hood here. Standing offer of a free 15-day trial. You'll find the link to that in the description of any of our YouTube videos, or you can head over to the store tab. We can get you hooked up with that trial so you can kind of see what we have to offer, see if it's a good fit. If it is, awesome. Found you a great community, best community out there. If not, well, wish you the best. You gave it a shot, and hey, maybe we'll see you down the road, or maybe we'll see you in our YouTube. But we certainly invite you to give us a try. If you're a new pro member, I certainly welcome you to the team. I'm excited to have you here. I will be, of course, seeing you around. You'll see me in the YouTube show. You'll see me in the evening show sometimes. You'll see me in Discord or Twitter. So this won't be goodbye at all. This will just be good evening because we'll definitely be seeing each other. I look forward to getting to know you better as both a person and a trader. I'm sure we'll get plenty of time to get to know one another if you're a new pro member. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for tonight. But hopefully this gave you a better idea of who we are, what we're doing, how you can kind of take advantage of it, how you can make it fit into, your goals and your, personal trading routine. I do hope that I did a good job getting you a little more comfortable with what it's looking like here every single week at Tackle Trading. I'll let you get out of here today, but it was certainly my pleasure. I thank everybody for their time. Have a wonderful week, both in and out of the market. And say hi, say hello if you see me on YouTube, or say hi to be over in Discord or whatever. Don't be a stranger. Never hesitate to reach out if you need anything. I'm never a hard guy to find. The team's always got your back. Goes well beyond me. I know everybody here at Tackle Trading wants to see each other succeed, so never hesitate to reach out to your team if you need it. Until we meet again, have a wonderful night, everybody. We'll see you soon.